Before we begin this night prayer, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It helps this space of peace and rest reach more people who need it, just like you do tonight. I know your mind feels like it's on a loop right now. The same moments keep circling back, like a movie you didn't choose to replay, but can't seem to turn off. The words you said, the words you heard, the looks that lingered too long, or not long enough. The decisions you wish you'd made differently. It's like your brain won't stop digging through every corner of today, searching for answers, searching for peace, searching for some way to rewrite it. And I want you to know, you're not broken for feeling this way. You're human. And tonight, you don't have to solve it all before sleep comes. Tonight, you're allowed to rest, even if everything isn't tied up neatly in your heart. Let's slow down together. Take a deep breath. Let it fill your lungs fully. Hold it for a moment, and then let it go. Feel how your shoulders sink just a little lower. Feel how your jaw softens. Feel how your heartbeat slows, even slightly, as you let yourself know, right here, in this moment, you are safe. Right here, you can let go of holding it all together. I know the replay is loud. It feels like your thoughts are competing for your attention, pulling you into the what-ifs and the should-haves. But you don't have to chase them tonight. You don't have to follow every thread your mind throws at you. Tonight, we're doing something different. Tonight, we're letting the replays fade into the background. Tonight, we're giving your soul permission to rest, even when your mind still wants to run. You might feel like if you don't think about it one more time, you'll lose control. But what if rest itself is the most powerful way to heal? What if, by releasing this endless cycle tonight, you're actually making room for clarity to find you tomorrow? God is near, closer than your next breath. He sees every detail of your day, the moments you regret, the ones you wish you could relive, the ones that left you feeling unseen. He doesn't replay them the way you do. He isn't here to accuse you, to shame you, or to make you relive it all over again. He's here to hold you, to take the weight from your chest, to whisper that you're still loved, still enough, still safe in His presence. Let Him hold you now. Imagine laying every scene from today, every word, every glance, every decision in His hands. Not to erase them, but to stop carrying them alone. Feel the relief in that you don't have to clutch them anymore. You can let them rest where they belong, with the one who already knows your heart better than anyone else. The night is long enough to hold what you can't. It doesn't rush you. It doesn't demand perfection. It doesn't even demand answers. It simply invites you to breathe, to loosen your grip, and to rest. I know part of you worries that if you stop replaying it, you'll forget what matters, that you'll lose the lesson, the warning, or the meaning. But hear this, nothing important is lost when you rest in God's presence. He holds the lessons and the healing, even when you stop thinking about them. You can rest without fear of losing what's valuable. Right now, let your breathing be your prayer. Each inhale, a quiet reaching for peace. Each exhale, a surrender of what you can't control. You don't need perfect words. You don't need eloquence. You just need honesty, and that's already here in the ache you feel. You're safe to rest now. The night outside has grown quieter. Maybe you hear the faint hum of distant cars, or maybe it's just the stillness of your own room wrapping around you. It's strange how silence can feel so loud when your thoughts refuse to rest. The replay is softer than before, but it's still there, looping, tugging, whispering questions you wish had answers. Tonight, let's do something different with those questions. Instead of trying to silence them, let's simply give them a place to sit. Imagine a wide, open field beneath a soft night sky, stars above you stretching endlessly, and the earth beneath you cool and steady. In this field, there's a gentle fire, warm and safe. Every thought, every replayed moment, you can place here by the fire, one by one. You don't have to fight them. You don't have to explain them. You just lay them down and let the fire's warmth hold them. Think of the words you said today that you wish you could take back. Lay them down. Think of the moments you wish you could redo, the look you gave, the silence you kept, the path you chose. Lay them down. Think of the feelings that clung to you long after the moment passed, the sting, the shame, the longing. Lay them down. The fire doesn't burn to destroy. It glows to comfort, to remind you that even the heaviest things can be set aside for the night. You've been holding so much, maybe more than anyone realizes. You carried the weight of conversations that didn't go the way you hoped, the weight of expectations you put on yourself, the weight of trying to figure out what tomorrow will look like. But here, in this quiet field beneath the stars, there's no pressure to fix any of it. There's only rest. And in that rest, something holy begins to happen. The replays that felt so sharp begin to soften. The edges of the day blur, not because they don't matter, but because they found a safer place to be. You've probably wondered why your mind replays things so much. Maybe it's because you care. Maybe it's because you want to do better. Maybe it's because you're searching for meaning. Those aren't bad things, but even the deepest desire to understand needs space to breathe. Tonight is that space. There's no rush here. The stars above you have been shining for centuries, and they'll keep shining long after tonight. The same God who hung those stars is holding you now. He's not in a hurry. He's not impatient with your overthinking. He's not angry that you can't just let it go. He knows how much this matters to you. And still, he whispers, rest. Feel the cool grass beneath you in this imagined field. Hear the crackle of the fire. Let the night air brush against your skin. You're not alone here. You never were. Even in the moments that haunt you from today, he was there. Not distant, not silent, but steady. Even now, he's steady. You don't have to force peace tonight. Peace isn't something you achieve. It's something you receive. It's something that comes quietly when you stop striving for it. So let this be your prayer tonight. God, help me stop striving. Help me rest, even if I don't have all the answers. Breathe slowly with me, in for 4 counts. Hold for 2, out for 6. Again, feel how your body loosens. Feel how the tension you didn't even realize you were carrying begins to ease. The night won't punish you for resting. Tomorrow will come, whether you stay awake or not, and maybe tomorrow things will look different. But for now, let tonight hold you. Let the stillness remind you that even when your mind is loud, your soul can find quiet. You've done enough for today. You've thought enough for today. You've felt enough for today. The night feels endless in the gentlest way now. It no longer presses down on you. It holds you soft and weightless. The replay, once sharp and consuming, has dissolved into something distant, almost forgotten. You've walked through forests and fields, crossed still waters and quiet deserts, and each step has brought you closer to this moment, the moment where peace finally settles deep into your chest. Imagine yourself now in a high meadow at dawn, though the sun hasn't yet risen. The horizon is painted with the faintest hint of light, a soft blue, a pale gold just beginning to appear. The air is crisp but not cold. You sit on a smooth stone, wrapped in a blanket of silence. The world feels as though it is holding its breath, waiting with you for morning. This meadow is quiet in a different way. It doesn't demand that you forget the day. It simply reminds you that the day is over, that the weight you carried, the words you replayed, the moments you couldn't stop reliving, they belong to yesterday. Now, the night has done what it came to do. It has transformed the noise into quiet, the ache into release. You close your eyes and listen. There's no rush here, no noise, only the faint hum of life returning, steady and patient. And in that hum, you hear it, the quiet assurance of God's presence. Not loud, not dramatic, just steady, constant, like the heartbeat you didn't realize had calmed. The questions that haunted you earlier have no power here. They don't need answers right now. They can wait. Your worth was never dependent on solving them anyway. The mistakes you feared would define you. They're smaller now, lighter, like dust carried away by a gentle wind. What remains is simply you, loved, safe, held. You take one last deep breath, feeling the cool morning air fill your lungs. With the exhale, you release the final threads of the day, the tension, the striving, the ache of overthinking. You feel lighter, freer, almost weightless. The first light of sunrise begins to touch the meadow, and though you may be drifting towards sleep, some part of you knows this light will still be here when you wake. It will greet you softly, without judgment, without demand, only grace. You whisper one last prayer, not with words, but with the quiet beat of your heart. Thank you for holding me when I couldn't hold myself, and with that you rest completely, finally, full. There's a stillness now that feels almost sacred. The replay, once loud and relentless, is barely a whisper at the edge of your awareness. It no longer demands your attention. It drifts like distant fog, there but harmless. You've come so far tonight, further than you realize. Picture yourself now inside a quiet library. The walls are lined with shelves of old books, their pages filled with countless stories, each one holding lives you've never lived and wisdom you've never known. The air smells faintly of paper and wood, grounding and warm. The only sound is the soft creak of the wooden floor beneath your feet as you walk. In this library, there is a single desk with an open book waiting for you. The pages are blank. It is your story waiting for tomorrow. But tonight, the pen rests. There is nothing you need to write, nothing you need to fix, nothing you need to explain. The page can stay empty, and that's okay. You sit down in the quiet, your hands resting on the smooth wooden surface. The weight you carried from today doesn't belong here. This place isn't for regret or endless questions. It's for stillness, for presence, for breathing again. The memories that tried to replay all night approach the edges of your mind, but here in this library, they lose their urgency. They become quiet, almost like whispers between pages. You acknowledge them, but you don't have to hold them. You can let them rest on the shelves with the other stories, knowing they don't define who you are. God is here too, not standing far away, but sitting across the table, quiet and steady. He doesn't need you to justify why you keep replaying the day. He understands without you saying a word, and in his understanding, there is no judgment, only compassion. You close the blank book gently, feeling peace in the act of leaving it unwritten. Tomorrow can hold its own words. Tonight is for rest. The library lights dim as you lean back, breathing deeper, softer. Even the air feels forgiving here. The replay doesn't win. It never. The night feels like it is wrapped entirely around you now. Not heavy, but protective, like a quiet cocoon. The replay has grown faint, almost like an echo from another time, softer with every passing breath. It's strange how thoughts that once felt overwhelming can feel so small in the silence of night. Imagine yourself now in a vast meadow, blanketed by wildflowers that blow faintly under the moonlight. The petals sway gently in the breeze, brushing softly against each other, filling the air with a subtle, calming fragrance. Above you, the stars stretch endlessly, a quiet reminder that the world is bigger than this single day you've been replaying. You lie down in the meadow, the cool grass beneath you soft like a quiet promise. The flowers around you sway in rhythm with your breathing, slow, even, steady. For the first time all day, your body feels like it belongs here, in this moment, without rushing forward or looking back. The scenes from earlier still try to surface sometimes. The conversation that stung, the moment you wish you could rewrite, the silence you didn't know what to fill with words. But here, surrounded by the gentle movement of the flowers, those memories soften. They lose their sharpness. They become lighter, almost like petals drifting in the wind. You watch as those petals carry the weight you've been holding. Each regret, each doubt, each what-if, lifted by the breeze and carried beyond the horizon. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to catch them. You simply watch them go, trusting that the one who made the wind knows where they need to land. You close your eyes. The scent of the flowers lingers, sweet, calming, almost like an embrace. The ground beneath you feels steady. The stars above you feel endless. And somewhere in between, your heart begins to trust. It's safe to rest now. God is near in this meadow. Not far away, not watching from a distance, but here, in the hush of the wind, in the glow of the petals, in the rhythm of your breath. He isn't asking you to figure everything out tonight. He's simply inviting you to be held, and you let him. The replay has faded now to a faint hum, like distant music you can barely hear. It's still there, but it no longer pulls at you the way it did. Tonight has done something quiet but real. It's given you space to breathe again. Picture yourself now in a small rowboat on a still lake at midnight. The water is dark but calm, glass-like beneath you, reflecting the stars above so perfectly that it feels as though you're floating between two skies. There's no wind, no sound except the soft dip of the oars and the gentle splash as they rise again. You're not rowing hard, just drifting, letting the boat glide. Each stroke feels effortless, like the night itself is carrying you forward. In the distance, faint lights flicker along the shore, a cabin perhaps, or lanterns hung in the trees, but they're far enough away that they don't ask anything of you. Here on the water, there are no walls for your thoughts to bounce against. The endless expanse makes the replay lose its power. The same moments you couldn't stop reliving earlier, the conversation, the choice, the silence, now feel softened, as if the water itself is absorbing them, breaking them apart into ripples that disappear into the night. You rest the oars inside the boat and lean back. The sky above is endless. The stars don't care about what you said today. The moon doesn't measure your worth by what you accomplished. The water doesn't judge you for what you wish you'd done differently. All of creation seems to whisper the same thing. You are still loved. You are still enough. Close your eyes in this moment. Feel the gentle rocking of the boat. Feel how the rhythm matches your breathing. Slow, even, safe. There's nowhere to be right now except here. No one to impress. Nothing to prove. Just rest. You might think of tomorrow for a moment, wondering what it will hold. That's okay. Let the thought drift past you, the way a cloud drifts past the moon. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to plan everything tonight. Sleep is part of the healing too. God is here, even on this quiet water. He's not pacing the shore, anxious about your overthinking. He's in the stillness, in the calm, in the way your heart finally starts to slow. He's holding you, even now, when you can't hold yourself. The replay doesn't define you. The replay doesn't own you. Tonight, you're free to rest. The night feels endless now, but not in a way that drains you, in a way that frees you. Endless. Not because you can't sleep, but because time itself seems to have softened, slowed, given up its sharp edges. Here, in this stillness, there's no pressure to hurry toward morning. You can stay in this moment as long as you need. Imagine yourself walking through a vast desert beneath a sky thick with stars. The sand is cool beneath your bare feet, the air crisp but not biting. Each step you take leaves a soft print that the wind will soon erase. There is a strange comfort in that, knowing that nothing here clings too tightly. Even your footprints are allowed to vanish. The replay from today feels far away in this desert. The voices that echoed so loudly an hour ago have quieted, muffled by the immensity of the sky. When you lift your gaze, you realize how small those thoughts seem against an endless canvas of stars. And somehow, that smallness feels like relief. You find a place to sit, a flat rock warmed by the sun's memory. The horizon stretches in every direction, infinite and unbroken. Out here, there's no room for judgment, no eyes watching, no expectations to meet, just you, the sand, the stars, and the quiet. Close your eyes. Feel the vastness around you. Feel how it changes the weight of what you've been carrying. That mistake you keep replaying. Out here, it's a grain of sand. That question you can't stop asking yourself. A whisper lost in the wind. That moment you wish you could undo. A single drop in an endless sky. God is here too. Not in the way you sometimes imagine him, but in the vastness itself, in the still air, in the quiet starlight, in the way your chest finally feels like it can expand without resistance. He's not pointing to what you got wrong today. He's pointing to how deeply you're loved in spite of it all. The desert teaches you something. You don't have to hold every moment. You don't have to replay every scene. Life is wide, and mercy is wider still. Breathe that in, the width of mercy. Exhale the replay. Let the stars keep watch while you rest. There's a hush now that feels different than the silence you started with. This isn't the sharp silence of being alone with your thoughts. This is the soft quiet that comes when something inside begins to unclench. The day hasn't changed, but the way it rests on you, lighter somehow, less heavy to carry. Picture yourself inside a small cabin, high in the mountains. A single lantern glows on a wooden table, casting warm circles of light against the walls. Outside, snow falls gently, muting every sound except the faint crackle of the fire in the hearth. The cabin is simple. Wood, stone, soft blankets. But in its simplicity, there is safety. Nothing from the outside world can reach you here. You sit on the floor near the fire, wrapped in a blanket, knees pulled close. The warmth seeps into your skin, into your muscles, into the very places where you've been carrying tension all day. It's strange how safety feels unfamiliar at first, like your body doesn't know how to believe it's allowed to rest. But slowly, as the fire pops and the wind outside softens, something in you begins to believe. The replay tries to slip in, a face, a word, a mistake, a question. But in the cabin, those thoughts feel smaller. They knock on the door, but you don't have to answer. You don't have to invite them in. You can simply stay here by the fire, letting the warmth do what endless analyzing never could, soothe. Close your eyes in this imagined space. Feel the weight of the blanket. Feel the stillness of the snow outside. Feel the nearness of God sitting beside you. No words, no lectures, just presence. He doesn't need you to explain why you can't stop thinking about today. He already knows, and he's not here to make you feel bad for it. He's here to sit with you in it until the edges soften and sleep finally comes. You breathe deeper now. The fire crackles. The snow falls. The replay grows quieter still. You realize something. The goal was never to erase the day. The goal was to let it rest. So you can too. Stay here, warm, safe, quiet. Let sleep find you gently. By now, your breathing is slower. The frantic edge of the replay has dulled, like a storm that has finally passed. There's still rain on the ground, still puddles in your mind, but the thunder has quieted. All that's left is the soft drip of peace settling in. Picture yourself lying on soft grass beneath a sky scattered with stars. Each star feels like a promise you've forgotten, but are just now remembering. The night air is cool, but not cold, enough to wake your senses, not enough to stir anxiety. You place your hands on your chest and feel the steady beat of your heart. It's slower than before, calmer. Each beat whispers, still here, still safe, still loved. Your mind might try one last time to pull you back into the loop. Remember what you said. Remember how they looked at you. Remember what you didn't do. But now you answer differently. You don't argue. You don't spiral. You simply say, I don't need to replay that anymore. I'm choosing rest. Imagine a soft blanket being placed over you, not just on your body, but over your thoughts. A blanket woven of grace and quiet. It doesn't erase the day, but it holds it gently until morning. God leans close here, not in words, but in presence. A closeness you don't have to earn, a comfort that asks nothing of you, a love that holds even the parts of you you wish were different. Stay here, breathe here, rest here. There's a faint glow now, as if morning is still a lifetime away, but night has softened into something kind. The thoughts that kept circling may still hum at the edges of your awareness, but they no longer feel urgent. They've become background noise, like the distant sound of waves on a shore. Picture yourself now standing at that shoreline. The sea is calm, waves lapping gently at your feet. The cool water washes over your toes, then pulls back, again and again, in a rhythm that feels like breathing. With each retreat of the water, imagine it carrying away a piece of what you've been holding. The regret, the worry, the ache of conversations that didn't go as planned. Let the tide take them. You watch as the horizon stretches endlessly. The stars reflect off the water, scattered diamonds that shimmer and remind you the universe is bigger than today, bigger than this replay, bigger than the weight you've been carrying. You kneel at the edge of the water and dip your hands in. The coolness shocks you at first, then soothes. You lift your wet hands and let the drops fall back into the sea, watching them vanish into something so much larger than yourself. That's what surrender feels like. Small pieces of you being held by something infinite. God is here in the waves, not loud, not demanding, but steady. He knows how tired you are of running through the same scenes over and over. He knows the questions you can't stop asking yourself. Did I do enough? Could I have done it differently? Will it always feel this way? And still, he whispers into the rhythm of the tide, you are enough for tonight. Rest. The sea doesn't rush, the night doesn't rush, and you don't have to rush either. Breathe with the waves now, in the earth, with the rise, out with the fall. Let the rhythm rewrite your body's tension. Let the salt air remind you of cleansing, not just of skin, but of spirit. You've been so hard on yourself today, too hard. But here, on this quiet shore, you realize even the sea doesn't fight itself, it simply moves. And maybe that's what peace feels like too. The night feels softer now, as if it's been listening to your quiet surrender. The replay is still faint in the corners of your mind, but it doesn't grip you the way it did. You've started to feel the difference, how release isn't about forcing thoughts away, but gently handing them over. Imagine yourself now walking through a quiet forest. The trees stand tall, their branches swaying slightly in the night breeze. The air smells of pine and earth, cool and grounding. Each step you take presses softly into the dirt, steady and unhurried. With every step, you feel the weight of the day loosening. You don't have to rush here. The forest doesn't demand anything from you. It only offers space. There's a clearing ahead, bathed in moonlight. In the center is a simple wooden bench. You sit down, feeling the stillness seep into your bones. You notice how, for the first time all day, you're not bracing yourself for what's next. You're not rehearsing conversations. You're not rewinding mistakes. You're just breathing. And in this stillness, you feel it. God's quiet presence. Not distant, not condemning, but close enough to sense in the rhythm of your breath. He's not asking you to solve anything tonight. He's simply reminding you, you're not alone in this. Your mind might still whisper what went wrong. That's okay. Let those whispers fade into the wind that moves gently through the trees. The forest knows how to carry sound away, letting it dissolve into something softer. Take a moment to notice how your body feels. The tension in your shoulders, the weight in your chest, the fatigue behind your eyes. Let all of it sink into the bench beneath you. Let the earth hold what you no longer can. Tonight is not about perfection. It's about presence. Presence with yourself. Presence with God. Presence with the quiet around you. And maybe tomorrow, when you wake, the forest will still be there. Not in trees and leaves, but in the calm that lingers inside you. For now, let yourself stay here a little longer. The replay doesn't win tonight. The night has settled fully now. The world outside feels distant, like it belongs to another life entirely, one that isn't demanding anything from you at this moment. Inside this quiet, there's a soft hum, not of noise, but of stillness itself. It wraps around you like a blanket you didn't know you needed, a blanket woven of mercy and quiet acceptance. Your thoughts may still be trying to reach for you, pulling you back into the day. The mind doesn't give up easily. It's used to running, used to solving, used to making sure you're ready for what comes next. But there's something sacred in realizing that you don't have to be on right now. You don't have to prepare or defend or rehearse. Tonight is not about being ready. It's about being here. Picture yourself near water now. A lake, still and unbroken, its surface mirroring the night sky. Stars scatter like whispers across the water's reflection, and the moon hangs quietly above. This is where we bring the replay. Now, to the shoreline. Each thought, each scene, each memory you've been clutching, drop them gently into the water. Watch as ripples spread, soft and slow, until the surface smooths again. The thoughts are still there, but the water knows how to hold them differently than you do. Do you feel how your chest loosens when you don't have to hold everything so tightly? That's the gift of surrender, not giving up, just setting down. You may think about something small you said today, something no one else even noticed, but you can't seem to stop thinking about. That tiny moment that keeps coming back like an echo. Or maybe it's something bigger, a decision, a conversation, a silence that felt too loud. Whatever it is, the water can hold it. It doesn't need you to explain why it matters. It just receives it. Sometimes the hardest part of rest is trusting that the world won't fall apart if you do. That's why tonight we lean into something stronger than ourselves. We lean into the God who neither sleeps nor forgets. The one who stays awake so you don't have to. The one who carries what you can't. Breathe deeply here. In, out. Let the night meet you where you are. You've been carrying more than your share, haven't you? Worry about tomorrow. Regret about today. The heaviness of not knowing how to fix it all. But the truth is, you were never meant to hold it all alone. You were never meant to replay it endlessly in your head, searching for a peace that only comes when you finally let go. Imagine this. You take all the what-ifs and should-haves, place them in a small wooden boat and push it gently into the lake. It drifts, slowly at first, then farther, until the darkness of the water swallows it up in safety. It's gone from your hands, not lost, but surrendered. And for the first time today, your fingers can rest. Your breathing deepens. The air feels cooler. The weight begins to lift. You realize something. Rest isn't the absence of thoughts, but the presence of trust. It's knowing that even if your mind still whispers, your heart can stay calm. God whispers into that calm. You're safe. You're loved. You've done enough for today. Stay here. as long as you need. The replay will grow quieter, the water will hold it, and you will finally begin to sleep. The night has grown so still now that even your heartbeat feels like part of the quiet. The replay has lost almost all its weight, not because the day changed, but because you've been carried through layer after rail of release. It's a strange kind of freedom, isn't it? The kind where nothing outside you has shifted, but everything inside you feels softer. Picture yourself now on the edge of a quiet cliff overlooking a valley. It's night, but far below, you can see small lights scattered like fallen stars. Little houses, quiet roads, maybe a river winding faintly through the dark. Up here, the air is cooler, thinner, but clean. You take a deep breath and feel it clear your chest, almost like it's washing away the heaviness that lingered all day. You sit at the edge, not in fear, but in awe. The vastness in front of you humbles the thoughts that felt so overwhelming just hours ago. The words you couldn't stop replaying, the mistakes that felt unbearable, they seem so small from this height. Not unimportant, but small enough to release. You notice the wind brushing gently across your face. It's steady, rhythmic, almost like a song. In that wind you sense something holy, not a voice with answers, but a presence that doesn't need them. God is here in the quiet, in the wind, in the safety of this high place. He's not asking you to climb higher, not demanding you figure out what's next. He's simply here, holding space for you to breathe. Below, the valley sleeps. The world moves on, quietly and gently, even when you stop. Maybe that's the lesson you've been aching to learn, that you don't have to hold everything up on your own. The world spins, whether or not you replay every moment. Mercy moves, whether or not you solve every detail. You lean back on the cool stone, eyes closing as the wind continues to hum. The cliff feels steady beneath you. The sky feels endless above you. And somewhere between the two, you realize you're safe to rest. Truly safe. Let the valley lights blur. Let the wind carry what's left. Let yourself be held by something far bigger than the day you've been replaying. The quiet feels almost complete now. The day that once filled every corner of your mind has thinned to a shadow, soft and harmless. What's left is something gentler. A sense that maybe you don't have to fight so hard to let go, because the letting go is already happening on its own. Picture yourself now in a vast canyon at night. The walls rise high on either side, carved by centuries of wind and water. The ground beneath you is smooth stone, cool beneath your hands as you rest them against it. Overhead, the sky is wide and unbroken, stars scattered like pieces of quiet promise. You sit on the canyon floor, the silence so deep you can hear your own breath echo softly back to you. That echo feels comforting, a reminder that even here, you are not lost, not forgotten. The canyon doesn't demand anything from you. It simply exists, ancient and steady, holding space for you to finally set everything down. You gather the pieces of the day in your mind, the conversations that lingered too long, the regrets that clung to you, the what-ifs that wouldn't stop looping. You hold them gently, not with judgment, but with compassion. And then, one by one, you release them into the open space of the canyon. They drift upward, dissolve into the night air, and vanish into the vastness above you. The canyon returns the gift in its own way, not with answers, but with quiet, not with explanations, but with space. Enough space for you to breathe again. Enough space for you to sleep. God is here too, not as a distant figure above the canyon walls, but as the stillness itself. The echo of your breath is his reminder, I am with you in every sound, in every silence. There is no corner of your mind he will not sit with you in, no replay he cannot hold with gentle hands. You lean back against the stone and feel its steadiness. The world above continues on, but down here, time feels different. Slower, Kinder, you close your eyes and let that kindness wrap around you. The stars remain above. The canyon holds you, and at last, your soul begins to rest completely. The stillness has changed now. It feels alive, almost breathing with you. The replay, once so loud it filled every corner of your thoughts, is now distant, faint, almost unimportant. It's as if the night itself has been quietly teaching you to let go, one soft moment at a time. Picture yourself now on a quiet bridge suspended over a slow-moving river. The wooden planks beneath your feet are smooth from years of wind and rain, sturdy yet gentle under your weight. The air is cool, carrying the faint scent of water and distant pine trees. Below you, the river flows steady and unhurried, reflecting the pale light of the moon in ripples that seem endless. You lean against the railing, watching the current move. It doesn't resist. It doesn't fight to stay still. It just flows, carrying fallen leaves, stray twigs, and anything else the day has left behind. And as you watch, you realize you can do the same. The moments you've been replaying over and over, the words, the silences, the things you wish you'd done differently. Imagine placing them gently on the surface of the river, one by one. Watch them drift downstream, carried farther and farther until they disappear into the night. There's a freedom in that release, not pretending it didn't matter, but trusting it doesn't have to weigh you down anymore. The river knows how to carry what you can't. You close your eyes and listen to the soft movement of water beneath you. No judgment, no demands. Just steady rhythm, like breathing, like grace. In this quiet, you sense God beside you, leaning on the same railing, looking out over the same current. He's not asking you why you replay things so much. He's not telling you to get over it. He's simply here, present, watching with you. And somehow, that presence changes everything. You breathe out slowly, and the tension you didn't know you were still holding leaves with the exhale. The river carries it too. The night deepens. The replay fades. And what remains is this: peace, so steady it almost surprises you. The night feels like it's holding you now, not loosely, but fully, as if it refuses to let you carry anything heavy anymore. The weight you walked in with is almost gone. The replay, once sharp and demanding, is now no louder than a faint memory you can let drift away without fear. Picture yourself inside a quiet mountain cave, hidden deep within the earth. Outside, the world may still be busy, but in here there's only stillness, cool air, smooth stone walls, and the distant sound of dripping water echoing softly in the darkness. It feels ancient, as if this place has been waiting for centuries for someone to simply come and rest. You light a single candle and place it on the ground beside you. Its small flame dances against the walls, casting soft shadows that move like living prayers. The cave doesn't feel cold or empty. It feels protective, like a sanctuary carved by time itself. You sit against the stone wall, legs drawn close, and breathe in the quiet. The candlelight flickers, steady but unhurried, and you realize something. Even the smallest light is enough to hold back the dark. The thoughts you've been replaying all night approach the edges of your mind again, but here in this cave, they seem harmless. Their sharp edges dull against the stone. The mistakes you thought were too big, the questions that felt unanswerable, they soften in the presence of quiet. It's not that they're gone, it's that they're no longer in control. Close your eyes. Feel the steadiness of the ground beneath you, the weight of the mountain around you. It's humbling to realize how small one day can feel against something so enduring. Maybe that's what you needed, not to forget, but to remember how much bigger grace is than anything you've replayed. God is here, in the stillness of the cave, in the warmth of the candle, in the shelter carved out just for you. He isn't waiting outside for you to emerge perfect and composed. He's sitting beside you, in the dim light, offering nothing but presence, and somehow, that's enough. You let out a long breath you didn't realize you'd been holding. The echo carries through the cave, a quiet reminder that even your sighs are safe here. And in that release, you finally feel ready, not to solve everything, but to rest anyway. The flame flickers one last time as your eyes grow heavy. The cave holds you gently, and you let yourself drift. The silence feels different now. Not the kind of silence that presses against your ears, but the kind that softens everything inside you, the kind that feels earned, like arriving somewhere safe after a long, restless journey. The replay has faded into the distance, almost like an echo you can barely remember. What lingers instead is a deep, steady quiet. Picture yourself now in a wide-open field at night. The grass is tall, swaying gently with the wind, and fireflies glow faintly, flickering in and out like scattered sparks of comfort. Above, the sky is painted with constellations so vivid they look close enough to touch. The air smells of wildflowers and fresh earth, cool but inviting. You walk slowly through the field, letting your hands brush against the tops of the tall grass. Each step feels unhurried, almost weightless. The worries of the day, the endless loop of what you wish you could change, grow softer with every step. It's as if the field itself is absorbing them. The ground beneath you steady, the night around you limitless. In the center of the field is a single tree, tall, rooted, timeless. Its branches stretch wide, leaves rustling gently in the breeze. You sit beneath it, leaning against the trunk, feeling its strength press calmly against your back. The world feels far away here. The noise, the mistakes, the regrets, they belong to another place, another time. Close your eyes. Feel the weight you've been carrying sink into the earth. It doesn't fight you. It doesn't ask why. It simply holds what you can't anymore. The fireflies continue their quiet dance around you, blinking softly like living prayers. Reminders that even in darkness, there are points of light you didn't expect. Maybe that's what healing looks like, not erasing the dark, but finding the light inside it. God is near, closer than your own breath. He doesn't demand explanations. He doesn't rush you toward resolution. He simply sits with you under this tree, steady and sure, whispering with the rustle of the leaves. You've done enough. You are enough. Rest now. And for the first time, you believe him. There's a calm in the air now that feels like it belongs to another world. The replay, once so loud it drowned out everything else, has thinned to a faint trace, barely touching the edges of your thoughts. What remains is quiet, not empty, but full of something you can't quite name. Imagine yourself now in a small garden hidden behind stone walls. It's night, and lanterns hang from low tree branches, casting soft golden light across winding paths and flowering vines. The air is warm here, carrying the faint scent of jasmine and earth after rain. You step barefoot onto the path, the stones cool beneath your feet, and feel how the world outside these walls no longer matters. In the center of the garden is a fountain, simple, round, its water flowing gently over smooth stone. The sound is soft, steady, constant. You walk toward it, drawn by something you don't have to explain. The water's surface shimmers in the lantern light, and for a moment you see your reflection, tired but still beautiful, worn but still whole. You sit by the fountain's edge, fingers trailing through the cool water. Every replayed moment from today, every sharp word, every silence you misread, every decision you questioned, you imagine placing into the water one by one. As you do, the ripples carry them away, folding them into the fountain's endless cycle. The thoughts don't disappear, but they lose their sting. They become part of something larger, something that doesn't hurt to touch. The garden doesn't ask, anything of you. The flowers don't judge you. The walls don't keep you in. They keep the noise out. Here, for the first time today, you feel safe enough to exhale completely. God is here in the quiet flow of water, in the lantern glow, in the scent of flowers opening toward the night. He's here in ways too gentle to name, yet impossible to miss. He doesn't need you to replay the day to him. He already knows, and still he stays. You close your eyes, listening to the fountain's steady rhythm. It's slower than your heartbeat now, pulling you deeper into calm. The night doesn't demand answers. It doesn't demand perfection. It only invites rest. The stillness has deepened into something sacred now. It's no longer just the absence of noise. It's a presence all its own, a steady quiet that holds you gently in its hands. The replay that once haunted you has thinned to a whisper you barely notice. Your body knows it. Your breath knows it. Even your thoughts, which once resisted, have surrendered to the calm. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a vast salt flat under a pre-dawn sky. The ground beneath you is white and smooth, stretching endlessly in every direction. Above, the stars are beginning to fade, replaced by the faint glow of morning rising behind distant mountains. The silence here is complete. No trees to rustle, no rivers to flow, just open air and the soft sound of your own breathing. You begin to walk slowly across the flat, barefoot. Each step feels grounding, steady, as though the earth itself is absorbing whatever weight you still carried. The horizon feels infinite, but for the first time, that endlessness doesn't intimidate you. It comforts you. There's no rush to reach the end. There's no end to reach. Only space to breathe, to release, to be. As you walk, you begin to imagine laying pieces of your day across the salt. The words you replayed, the choices you questioned, the emotions that refused to quiet. One by one, you set them down, watching them rest against the pale ground until they dissolve into the vastness. Here, they can't follow you. Here, they belong to something bigger, something beyond your control and beyond your burden. God is here, in the still openness, in the boundless space that holds you without walls or boundaries. He doesn't rush you forward. He doesn't drag you backward. He simply walks beside you, unhurried, matching your steps in the quiet. You stop in the center of the flats, looking up at the first light spilling across the horizon. The day is beginning, but you are no longer carrying yesterday with you. The replay is gone. The weight is gone. What remains is this peace, so wide it feels endless. You close your eyes and let the silence settle inside you. Finally, you are free. The quiet has become like a second skin now, wrapping you gently, shielding you from the weight you carried when the night began. The replay of the day, those sharp, relentless loops, has faded into something softer, barely traceable in your mind. You can feel your heart settling into a rhythm that matches the calm around you. Picture yourself walking along the edge of a quiet desert at night. The sand glows faintly under the light of a low-hanging moon, stretching endlessly in every direction. The air is cool, still, carrying with it the faint scent of earth baked by the sun earlier in the day. Each step leaves a mark that the soft wind gently erases behind you. Far ahead, you see a single lantern swaying on a wooden post. It marks the entrance to a small oasis, a cluster of palm trees, a pool of still water reflecting the moonlight, and smooth stones circling its edge. The sound of water is faint but constant, a low trickle that feels more like a heartbeat than a noise. You kneel by the pool and cup the cool water in your hands. When you splash it gently over your face, it feels like a blessing you didn't know you were waiting for. Not loud, not dramatic, just quiet renewal. The replay tries to creep in. The regrets, the words you wish you could change. But here, in this oasis, they have nowhere to land. The night absorbs them, softens them, carries them into stillness. God is here in the quiet desert, in the endless stretch of sky above, in the cool water resting at your feet. He doesn't tell you to forget the day. He teaches you how to rest in spite of it. And resting here feels almost holy, like finding sanctuary in the simplest of places. You lie back on the warm sand, eyes fixed on the stars overhead. The world feels wide, but you feel safe in it, small in the best possible way. And as your breathing slows, you realize the day no longer owns you. The replay no longer controls you. Peace has found you, and it's not leaving. The night has changed. It no longer feels like something you have to endure. It feels like something carrying you gently forward. The replay is almost unrecognizable now, a faint shadow dissolving into a wider quiet. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a pier that stretches into a calm harbor. The sea is black glass beneath you, broken only by the soft sway of anchored boats. Lanterns swing gently from tall posts, casting golden paths of light across the water's surface. The faint creak of ropes in the hush of water against wood are the only sounds. You walk slowly to the end of the pier and sit with your legs hanging over the side. The air smells faintly of salt and driftwood. The horizon is faint, a line between water and sky that disappears into stillness. Here, at the edge of everything, the noise of the day can't reach you. You breathe deeply, feeling the sea air fill your lungs, cool and clean. The replay of today tries to rise again, the lingering regret, the unanswered questions. But here, on the quiet water, they feel small, powerless. The sea doesn't cling to them, it carries them away. A gentle fog begins to roll across the harbor, softening everything it touches. Lights blur, edges dissolve, and what remains is only presence. You, the sea, and God's quiet company. He doesn't rush you to name what hurt. He doesn't demand you understand. He simply sits beside you on the pier, steady and silent, whispering into your heart, let it rest. Let yourself rest. You close your eyes and listen to the water, to the wind, to the quiet rhythm that has replaced the chaos. It feels endless in the best way, a quiet that will stay with you even when you rise again. The quiet around you feels infinite now. The replay that once haunted every breath is a distant echo, barely traceable in the vast stillness you've entered. It's not that the day didn't matter. It's that peace has grown larger than the weight of it. Picture yourself walking through a sleeping city at night. The streets are empty, the usual noise replaced by a deep hush that only arrives after midnight. Street lamps cast soft circles of golden light on the pavement, and your footsteps are the only sound, steady, calm, unhurried. Windows glow faintly in the distance. Behind them, lives continue. Some resting, some still awake. But here, on this quiet street, time belongs only to you. The city, usually overwhelming, feels almost gentle now. The concrete doesn't feel cold. It feels grounding. The tall buildings don't feel suffocating. They feel like silent guardians watching over your steps. You turn a corner and find a small park tucked between the buildings. The gate creaks softly as you enter. Inside, everything is still, benches lined under old trees. A fountain at the center frozen in time, its water catching the faint glow of the lamps. You sit on one of the benches, and for the first time today, you don't feel watched, judged, or hurried. You simply feel here. The replay tries one last time to whisper the sharp words, the lingering doubts. But in the hush of this sleeping city, those voices lose their power. The night absorbs them, tucks them into its corners, softens them until they can't reach you anymore. God is here in the quiet streets, in the faint hum of the lamps, in the still fountain that doesn't need to flow to remind you of peace. He walks beside you, matching your slow pace, reminding you with every silent step you are safe, you are held, you can rest. You lean back on the bench, tilting your head toward the muted stars barely visible above the buildings. Somewhere far away, morning will come, but not yet, not here, not in this moment of sacred stillness. You close your eyes and let the city keep watch while you finally sleep. The night feels endless but gentle now, like a quiet embrace you didn't know you needed. The replay that once circled your thoughts endlessly is no longer there, not because you forced it away, but because something softer has taken its place. Peace has crept in quietly, like dawn, slowly overtaking the horizon. Picture yourself now walking through an open field covered in soft snow. The world is hushed, every sound muted by the thick blanket of white. Each step you take leaves a perfect imprint behind you, only for the wind to gently erase it moments later. Nothing clings here. Nothing demands to be remembered. You find a small wooden cabin at the far end of the field, smoke curling softly from its chimney. As you approach, the faint glow of firelight spills from the windows, warm and inviting against the cold night air. When you step inside, the warmth envelops you, soft rugs on the floor, a quiet fire in the hearth, the faint scent of pine lingering in the air. You sit by the fire, pulling a heavy blanket around your shoulders. The heat seeps into you slowly, melting the last traces of tension. The day you couldn't stop replaying feels impossibly far away now, as though it happened to someone else. In another lifetime, the flames crackle softly, casting gentle shadows on the walls. You watch them dance without needing to think, without needing to analyze. For once, simply being is enough. God is here, in the fire's warmth, in the quiet that holds you, in the stillness that finally feels safe. He isn't asking you to prove anything or fix anything. He's simply here, steady, constant, unshaken. You close your eyes and lean into that presence. The snow outside continues to fall. The world continues to turn. And for the first time in what feels like forever, you let yourself rest deeply, fully, completely. The sun finally rises, spilling golden light across the water, the orchard, the hills, across every place your heart has traveled tonight. The replay is gone. What remains is this quiet joy, not loud or overwhelming, but soft and steady, like a whisper reminding you you made it through. You stand at the edge of the dock and breathe deeply, the morning air cool and fresh in your lungs. The world feels new, as if it's inviting you to step into it without the heaviness of yesterday. And you realize you are ready, not because everything is fixed, but because you are finally free from the need to replay it all. God stands with you here, not demanding perfection, not asking for explanations, only offering presence. And that presence is enough. It's always been enough. As the sun climbs higher, you whisper a final prayer, not with words, but with your heart. Thank you for staying with me through the night. Thank you for carrying what I couldn't. Thank you for peace. And with that, you step off the dock and into the new day, light, whole, free. The orchard fades behind you, and now you walk along a narrow wooden dock, stretching into a vast, still lake. The water is so calm it reflects the fading stars and the first hints of morning light. The dock creaks softly beneath your feet, each sound echoing in the stillness. You sit at the edge, legs dangling over the water. Your reflection stares back at you, not the tired, burdened version you saw earlier, but something softer, almost renewed. The replay of the day feels impossibly far away. The dock, the lake, the stillness, they've carried you beyond it. A faint mist rises from the water's surface, curling gently around you. It doesn't hide anything. It softens everything. The day you once replayed endlessly no longer feels like something to solve. It feels like something that's already been carried away by this quiet water. God is here in the mist, in the calm reflection, in the soft creak of the wood. He's not distant. He's here, steady, patient, unshaken by anything you've replayed. In his presence, the dock feels endless, the water limitless, and your heart finally unburdened. You lean back on your hands, eyes closing, as dawn begins to break in earnest. The dock rocks gently beneath you, and the peace you found settles deep, as if it has always been waiting for you. You find yourself now walking through an abandoned orchard, trees standing quietly in perfect rows. The branches are heavy with fruit, glowing faintly in the dim pre-dawn light. The air is cool and sweet, carrying a scent of ripeness and soil. Every step on the soft ground feels like a reminder that life continues quietly even when you're not watching. You reach up and pluck one of the fruits, smooth, cool, weighty in your palm. Taking a slow bite, you're surprised at how sweet it tastes, like a kindness you didn't expect but deeply needed. It's a reminder, not everything is heavy, not everything hurts. There is sweetness still. As you wander deeper into the orchard, the replay of today doesn't follow you. It lingers somewhere far behind, powerless here among these trees. You realize that life, like this orchard, grows quietly, even in seasons when you've stopped believing it will. God is here in the quiet growth, in the sweetness you didn't earn but were given anyway. He's not rushing you to gather every fruit. He's simply inviting you to rest beneath these branches and taste grace. You sit beneath a tree, leaning against its trunk. The replay that haunted you is forgotten. The orchard hums with quiet life, and you breathe fully, deeply. The forest around you begins to thin as you continue walking, and ahead you see an open field bathed in soft moonlight. The grass sways gently, and beyond it, rolling hills stretch endlessly toward the horizon. The silence is no longer heavy. It's tender, like a quiet lullaby playing in the background of your soul. You climb a low hill and sit at its crest. From here, you can see both the fading stars above and the valley below, resting under a blanket of mist. The night feels endless, but not oppressive. It feels like it was always meant to give you this space, this freedom. The replay that once ruled your thoughts has become a faint memory, softer than the breeze brushing against your face. Every inhale feels like release, every exhale a prayer without words. You didn't know peace could feel this quiet, this steady. God is here in the in-between, between night and day, between wait and freedom, between what was and what will be. He doesn't ask you to hurry toward the sunrise. He simply sits with you on this hill, watching with gentle patience as you finally stop striving. You lie back in the grass, arms open, chest rising and falling with slow breaths. The replay is gone. What remains is presence, and in presence you are whole. The silence is so deep now, it feels like it hums through your bones, not empty, but full of a quiet strength you didn't know you needed. The replay that once gripped you so tightly has loosened completely, fading into something distant and weightless. Picture yourself now in an ancient forest just before dawn. The trees tower above you, their branches weaving into a canopy so thick that the stars peek through only in scattered patches of light. The forest floor is soft with moss, cool and damp beneath your bare feet. The air smells of pine and earth, fresh, alive, grounding. You follow a narrow path, lit faintly by the glow of fireflies that hover in the air around you. Their light flickers softly, guiding you forward without hurry. Every step feels unforced, almost like the forest itself is walking with you, carrying you deeper into calm. Ahead, you find a small clearing where a stream pools into a still pond. The water reflects the sky above, dark, endless, dotted with fading stars. You kneel beside it, cupping your hands to drink. The water is cold and pure, washing not only your thirst, but something heavier, something deeper, the weight of everything you've been holding on to. As you sit by the pond, you gather the last remnants of the replay in your mind, the fragments of conversations, the regrets, the questions you couldn't answer, and one by one, you drop them into the water. They sink slowly, vanishing into the quiet depth until the surface is smooth again. God is here in the hush of the forest, in the coolness of the water, in the stillness that feels alive with peace. He isn't waiting at the end of the path. He's been beside you with every step. And now, as dawn approaches, he whispers without words, "Rest. You are safe here." You lie back on the moss, watching as the first light begins to filter through the canopy. The night is ending, but the peace remains, not fragile, not fleeting, but rooted deep inside you. For the first time, you realize you don't need to replay the day anymore. It no longer holds you. You are free. The quiet feels like it's part of you now. It isn't something you're stepping into anymore. It's something you're carrying inside, soft and steady, like a secret refuge. The replay that once felt relentless has faded into memory. What remains is an open space where your heart can finally breathe without fear. Picture yourself standing in a wide canyon at twilight. High walls of stone rise on either side, glowing faintly in the last traces of sunlight. The air is warm, but still, carrying the earthy scent of rock and sand. A narrow stream winds through the canyon floor, its water glistening like liquid glass as it flows slowly towards something unseen. You walk barefoot along the stream, the cool water lapping gently at your feet. Each step feels like it's washing something away. The regrets, the overthinking, the fragments of conversations you couldn't stop replaying. The canyon walls seem to absorb the echoes, turning them into soft whispers that no longer sting. Eventually, you find a small alcove carved into the stone. Inside, the walls are smooth and curved, almost like the inside of a shell. It feels safe here, protected from everything outside, not cut off, but gently separated, as though this space was made just for you. You sit, listening to the quiet trickle of water nearby. The sound is steady, unchanging, as if it's been flowing for centuries. That constancy comforts you. It reminds you that peace doesn't have to be loud to be real. Sometimes it's found in the smallest sounds, the kind that have been there all along, waiting for you to finally notice. God is here, in this canyon. Not far above, not distant beyond the walls, but here in the cool stone, in the gentle stream, in the safety that wraps around you like a soft cloak. He doesn't need to speak loudly to make himself known. His presence is enough. You lean back against the stone, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. The canyon holds you. The stream carries your thoughts. The day you once couldn't stop replaying feels like it belongs to another lifetime. For the first time in a long time, you don't just rest, you belong to rest.